Welcome back. To the class of taxation. This is the second session where we're going to talk about the decentralized tax structure as chapter 2. Normally, the Rwandan tax structure here is composed or is categorized into two categories, where we have centralized tax structure and where we have decentralized tax structure. So as of now, we are going to focus on this one, where this one under the decentralized tax structure, we are going to look at the immovable property tax. We look at the trading license. Here we look at the rental income. So, before we proceed to the movable property taxes and trading licenses and rental income tax, I'd like to first of all to expound more on some of the key definitions under the decentralized tax structure, where those definitions under the definitions under tax under decentralized tax structure are like micro enterprise, where we have the small enterprise, and we have the medium enterprise. So, in brief, the micro businesses, the micro enterprises, these are the businesses that are having less than 500,000 as the initial, as the net capital investment. Here, the capital or the initial outlay is equivalent to 500,000 Rwandan francs. 500 Rwandan francs. 500 Rwandan francs, and it has also got the micro enterprises. Businesses are having less than 500,000 Rwandan francs as net capital investments or as initial outlay, and less than 300,000 as annual turnover, and also having the annual turnover of less than 300,000 Rwandan francs as well. And in terms of the employees or in terms of the staff, where it should be having the employees or the staff between ranging between 1 to 3 employees, 1 to 3 staffs. So how about the small enterprises? The small enterprise here, the small enterprise, it has the initial outlay of these businesses having from 500 Rwandan francs to 15 million Rwandan francs. So here the initial outlay is ranging between 500. It is ranging between 500,000 to 15 millions Rwandan francs as well. And it has the annual turnover, and it has the annual turnover here of that is ranging between the annual turnover which ranges between 300 Rwandan francs, 300 Rwandan francs to 12 million Rwandan francs. And the staffs here, all the employees, it should be having the staff should be having the staff between 4 staffs to 30. 4 staffs to 30. So how about the medium enterprise? The medium enterprise, it should be having the annual turnover, or it should be having the initial outlay that ranges from the initial outlay that ranges from 15 millions to 70 millions Rwandan francs, and it should also make the turnover of at least the annual turnover of 50 millions Rwandan francs, and should be having the staffs between 31 up to 100. 31 up to 100. So from here, let us look at the sources of revenue, and property of decentralized entities. The sources of revenue and the property of decentralized taxes, of decentralized entities. So the number one here, it is the taxes and fees. The taxes and fees paid in accordance with decentralized tax. So the second source here, it is funds from issuance of certificates. From the issuance of certificates and their extension by decentralized entities, by decentralized entities. So another point you can talk of here, you can talk of profits from decentralized, from the investment of, from profits from investment of from investment of decentralized properties. Investment of decentralized entities. Here you can talk of administrative fines. Administrative administrative fines. You can talk of loans. You can talk of government subsidies, so on and so forth. And you can also talk of donations. Let's go straight to the, as I've said, decentralized tax structure. Here we are going to look at the immovable property tax. We look at the trading license. We also look at the rental income tax. So now let's start by looking at immovable property tax. Immovable property tax. So here, something that is very important is to know the declaration date. Declaration date here is always 31st of January of the current year you're operating in. Let's say 2000XX. So, and another thing that is important here is to know the assessment cycle. The assessment cycle. Where we need to know the value of a property. Value of property is assessed. Value of property is assessed every 5 years. Another thing also here we need to look at is the delay to declare. If you delay to declare, what are some of the penalties? What are some of the fines here? So the rate submission, the rate declaration, and reporting wrong information. There is a penalty of all these three of 40% as a penalty. So right from here, let's see. Let us use this site where we are going to look at. Let's continue to the depreciation and appreciation of property. So some properties, they do depreciate, especially the buildings, and they can also appreciate in value. For example, if maybe you have innovated your house, and the house, if it is innovated, of course, even the market value of that house has to increase because you have improved it. So therefore, when we talk of the depreciation and appreciation of property here, what I can say here is that if the value of the asset decrease in value, if the value of the asset decrease or increase, let me maybe write it. If the value of property decrease or increase in value by 20% with the tax period declaration form must be adjusted for the new value. So therefore, what happens here, the new value becomes the tax base. If it has gone beyond the 20%, of course the tax base will have to change. So now let's continue by looking at maybe the example. There are some examples in your notes. But I would like also to give you maybe another example which is not in your notes. You can also add it over there, where that example we can say X owns, this is the question, X owns property in Kacyiru. Let's look at this question where it says that it asks that John owns a property in Kacyiru valued at 100 million Rwanda francs. During the year ended 31st December 2017, there was an earthquake that destroyed the building by this amount. First, by 10 millions, second, by 30 millions. So what is required? Here we are required to come up with the tax base of the property in each case and its tax liability. So let us look at the calculation here. The solution here, the depreciation. Of course, if these buildings were affected by the earthquakes, there is loss of value of these buildings. So therefore, we need to calculate the percentage of depreciation. The percentage of depreciation. It is equal to extension cost over building cost times 100%. So therefore, we are going to treat the case 1 of 10 millions. So therefore, it should be the extension cost was 10 millions. The percentage of depreciation is 10 millions over the building cost. The building cost here, it is 100 millions. So therefore, we need to put it here. So times 100%. So this gives us, let me hope that you have your calculators, 10 millions divided by 100 millions. So it gives you 10%. So since the depreciation is under 20%, so you will say, since depreciation is below 20%, the tax base will remain the same. So therefore, the tax base will be 100 millions as the value of the building. So times, here we need to come up with the tax liability times 1 of 1,000. So therefore, the tax liability here, you need to come up with the tax liability. Tax liability will be 1 million Rwandan francs. 1 million Rwandan francs. So let us look at the case 2. The case 2, of course, the percentage of the case 2, the amount that so here it's I've made a mistake. I've mistaken it with 100. It is 100,000, not 1 million. For the case 2, it depreciated at the amount of 30 million. This was the loss that existed by the time of earthquake. So they varied 30 millions as the loss in the value of the building. So let us look at this case 2. So this case 2, the percentage of depreciation will be equal to 30 millions over the value of the building cost. So actually this one is extension cost, 30 million over the building cost times 100%. So this will give me to give me 30%. So we say, since depreciation is above 20%, the tax base will change or will be adjusted. It will change so to 100 millions minus 30 million. So this gives me 70 millions. And this 70 million is subject to the 1 over 1,000 as a tax. So times 1 over 1,000, because the tax base has to reduce, because this loss of value in the building has really reduced the value of the building. So now we need to less the 30 million that we have lost, that this businessman has lost, to 7 million. So this gives me 70 millions times 1 over 1,000. This gives me 70,000 as tax liability. So this is in the case of depreciation. Let's look at the appreciation side. So we have finished the computation of depreciation. So now let's look at on the side of appreciation. So the question here says, Mr. Jerry owns commercial properties in Kagugu valued at 100 millions Rwandan francs. During the year ended 31st December 2016, she extended the building at the cost of 18 million. Compute the extension of of his property tax. And suppose the extension was at 40 million, how much will he pay? How much will he pay as property tax? So now let's look at the first case here, where we are going to look at the percentage of appreciation. The percentage of appreciation of first case, the percentage of appreciation, here equals to the extension costs, the extension cost over the building costs times 100%. So for the first case, we have the appreciation of 18 million, appreciation of 18 millions. So therefore, the percentage here, therefore the percentage of appreciation equals to 18 millions francs divided by the value, divided by the building, divided by the value of the property. The value of the property is 100 million times 100%. So this gives me 18%. So since the 18% is below 20%, since the tax base will remain the same, so therefore there is no adjustment. You can say no adjustment. No adjustment. No adjustment. And you say that it's 100. The tax liability is 100 times 1 over 1,000, which gives you 100 millions. 100 millions times 1 over 1,000. It gives you 100,000 Rwandan francs. So let us see the second case. The second case, the appreciation value was 40 millions. So therefore, his extension value over the building cost, which is 100 million, almost 100%. So this gives me 40%. So you say since the appreciation the percentage of appreciation is above 40, is above 20%, is above 20%, since appreciation is above 20%, so the tax base will have to change. We have to change into 100 millions Rwandan francs plus 40 millions Rwandan francs. So this gives me 140 millions. 140 millions. 140 millions. So times, which is going to be subject to the tax of 1 over 1,000. So this will give me, this will give me 140,000. 140,000 as tax liability. Tax liability. As tax liability. As tax liability. So right from here, I think we have seen how to come up with this, with the calculation of the depreciation and with the calculation of appreciation. So these calculations, they are enough if you add up some other examples and you try to conduct a research on it. So right from here, let us look at what they call the notes of assessment. Notes of assessment. The tax assessment notes here, in brief, it is a notice that is provided by the tax administration to the taxpayers who have failed to declare the tax. And what does this notes contains? So this notes to the failure of declarant composes of different contents. So the number one content here, it contains the tax base calculations, and we have finished some of the tax bases when we were dealing with appreciation and depreciation. So those were the tax bases here they are talking about. So it also involves the calculation of value, value of concerned immovable property. Concerned immovable properties. So the number 3 here we need to look at is the calculation of the tax. Calculation of tax here. The other thing is the names. It also contains the names of the owner, or the person called the proxy. The proxy is the person who pays the taxes on behalf of another person. He represents somebody. So it also contains the address of the owner,